Can't you see the wind blowing my 4C hair? You can't. Oh, okay. Thank you. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy. And I'm not gonna do that. You remember that Vine? Friends, we have some fun stories for you today. So let's not spend too much time with the intro. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get started with story number 1. All right, now I promise I don't want to read the gays for filth. But when we get one, I feel very happy about it because, you know, it's a little part of my world. So let's just see what's going on in their lives. Okay. So we have my husband, a 48-year-old male, said something to me, a 43-year-old male, in frustration, and I can't get over it. The girls are fighting. How do I get over what my husband said in frustration earlier this week? What did he say? After a particularly frustrating day for him, he'd come home from work early. I greeted him as I work from home. When I asked him why he'd come home early, he mentioned that he hadn't been feeling well. Okay. I offhandedly mentioned... I know where this is going. Can they just not take a joke? Okay. I offhandedly mentioned that it could have something to do with him staying out late for the Northern Lights earlier in that week, implying lack of sleep. I have a feeling, and actually, let me see what his response is. He lost his mind. Okay. He lost his mind saying I was blaming him for being sick, that I didn't care about him, and sis was going off, that I was being unsupportive. I let him know that wasn't my intention. I was just suggesting it could be a contributing factor. Okay. You ever meet a person that they're like, I'm just real? I'm not saying that this is him, but there's something similar where it's not what you say, it's how you say it. If I'm home from work early, it's like, oh, it's surprising, and I say I'm not feeling well. What I don't want from my partner is to be like, well, maybe it's because you did this thing. Whether true or not, if I'm really not feeling well, like, is this now the time to bring it up? It just feels like, And I don't think if that happens once, that's not right. It's not ideal, but like that's not that serious. This response feels like you do this often, which makes you wonder the validity of you telling this story. Like, are you like watering it down to really like not take accountability for maybe the way that you said it? If you said something else with it, how often do you do this? Or he could just be tripping. Let's find out, because both could be true. Also, staying up for the Northern Lights. It's not like he was like doing popping pills and popping pussy. So let's keep that in mind. How is that? That's not helpful. I hate it when people say things like that. It's just not helpful. It's like me being an actor and people are like, have you tried like auditioning for this show? You know what, Teresa? I hadn't think, you know what? I'm going to get on the phone and I am going to call Law and Order SVU and tell them I need to be in next week's episode. Thank you so much for that suggestion. Okay. He went into his home office and slammed the door. About 5 minutes later, he came tearing out, yelling that he knows his life is miserable, that he hates, this is sad. I'm glad I made my funny commentary after before this. That he's alone in the world with no one who cares about him. Yikes. It was such a weird and bizarre escalation. Agreed. No matter how much I tried to reassure him that wasn't true, it didn't matter. For him to come out the room and say, with basically, I'm just assuming it's the two of you in this house, that he's alone in the world with no one who cares about him. That is very specific words. I think he's having a break. I think he's having a full breakdown. I think this is a straw that broke the camel's back. I don't know how much. I would believe that the weight of this is not just you. That I'm sure there's so many external factors that are making him feel so broken. And I'm saying it's your fault that you were the one that came at the wrong time. But for him to say, knowing that you would hear it, no one who cares about him, feels very pointed. It also feels very manipulative. So I'm actually, because we're almost done with the post, so I'm really hoping that OP replies in the comments and stuff, because I don't know how this is going to go. The next morning, he treated me like he didn't yell that he hated our life. Okay, maybe I think that this sounds like a full mental breakdown. He seemingly moved on, but I can't. Well, I think that's right. You're definitely right for that. I wouldn't be able to move on from that because what you mean? No one in the world loves me. You look me in the eye. No one ever loved me and care about me. Like, you talking to me? It's fine if you are, but we need to discuss that. So maybe you're not as much of a villain as I thought, but he's definitely going through something. And then you're married. Did it say how long you're married? No. But I would. Oh, literally the next line. For context, we've been together 14 years. Okay, 14 years together, probably X years married. I would imagine. Well, the gays, it takes a little longer. At least 5 years married. Yeah, 14 yet. You've been in your 30s. Yeah, probably. Yeah, 5 years minimum married. 14 years together is my assumption. Yeah, and I'm sure if this feels like it came out of nowhere and nothing, I'm just trying to think why he would have broken down. Did you not see signs of it before? I'm curious. Okay. First comment says, there's a huge backstory here. Yep, and the husband is depressed big time. So it's like, yeah, great. I was like, I think the same what I think. I'd be depressed too if every time I was mad, sad, or unwell, my husband/wife made a snippy little comment that put some kind of blame on me. Yeah, fair enough. That's why I'm like, I definitely think you were the straw that broke the camel's back. But like, if you didn't put the weight on the camel's back, that's not your fault, even if it was a misstep on your part to have that kind of reaction. There's nothing to say. I'll replace that to he does that every time because we know that they're both men. It's confirmed in the comments. There's a difference between, oh, babe, I'm sorry. Maybe you should get an early night and catch up on your sleep and I'll take care of. Yeah, exactly. That is a way to say if you're like, oh, I think it's because you didn't get a lot of sleep. Be like, well, you know what? Come home, take it easy. Try to get some extra sleep. Maybe that'll help you feel better, right? Because that could imply that maybe it was connected to Northern Lights, but it's not putting blame. Like, oh, maybe this is what happened. But like, yeah, if I went to see the Northern Lights, I'd stay up too. You did have a late night the other day, right? Because that is more confirming and comforting than it is. And it's, I don't know, especially like the gays in their 40s and 50s, the way they be saying stuff, even if they mean well, it really can rub you the wrong way. If you know, you know. You make me want to have the tongue of a sinner. And I don't mean sexually. I mean saying some not nice things. And well, that's what you get for staying up late at work. Probably made yourself sick. Yeah, we have no idea where the comment was on that scale, right? We don't know where it landed. Oh. There was another post that was on OP's profile. And this came after someone said, okay, is this still the same comment? Yep, and the husband's depressed big time. Someone said, or he's an abusive, manipulative a-hole. And someone said, exactly this is the last post on OP's profile. Okay, so it has, I've been with my partner for 14 years. We've gone through a lot together and I love him. We're a same-sex couple. Last year, I was laid off from a job in tech. I was one of about 120 people let go from my company. My entire department was affected. I understood the reasons and spent the next 10 months looking. Last fall, I thought I'd found the place for me. It turns out to be a toxic environment of misrepresented expectations and culture, petty personality wars, and inter-office politics. I desperately tried to make it work, but I felt like I was slowly dying inside. Heard, yeah, that'll kill you. Eventually, they eliminated. Okay, I guess I want to say eventually, like they eliminated my position as a layoff. Well, at least you get severance for that, right? And you didn't want to be there, so at least that's like it could be a blessing in disguise. I'm a people pleaser at heart, and I have sometimes debilitating fear of failure. Okay. Despite how much I hated my job, when they eliminated my role, I was crushed. It wasn't a business decision. It was personal. Yeah, no, I get my first corporate job when I really wasn't having a good time. Me and some of my coworkers were like, oh, because they were doing like a lot of layoffs. And I was like, God, I really hope I get layoffs so I can get severance and just get another job. But then it was like, can my ego take that? You know? And sometimes that could be the thing where you're happy it happened. You're getting some money out of it, at least to hold you over. Ideally, you get that severance and you get another job very quickly, right? And then you're like, I basically just got a bunch of money and leave my toxic job. But that's not guaranteed, right? And it's still a stressful experience. And you don't want to feel like, oh, I didn't get to leave my own accord. So I get that. It wasn't a business decision. It was personal. I haven't been able to shake it since. The funk I've been in has permeated my whole life. I stopped going to the gym as much, felt like a shell of myself, constantly tired. I know on some level that I'm depressed, but I don't want meds, and frankly, without insurance, couldn't afford them. Interesting. My partner has been my rock, my champion, and a cheerleader, but sometimes I want to get on a plane and leave to start a new life somewhere else. Maybe this is my midlife crisis. And someone comments under that and they say, well, there it is. OP has been difficult to live with for over a year now, and his husband reached a breaking point. Yeah, right. But like the fact that he didn't the part that scared me is that he had that episode and he was like, pancakes, like, no, we got to talk about it. Yeah, but I'm like, this must have been wearing him down. Oh my gosh. And that's hard too, especially when it's like your partner, especially if he calls himself a people pleaser. I feel like he's probably interjecting himself a lot into his husband's life and trying to find some form of control in his own life. So he can't do that. So he's probably like really getting the tentacles into his partner's life. So it just feels like it's been a rough time, and maybe OPXC hasn't been taking accountability for their shortcomings of letting their issues affect their relationship. The husband is trying to put a genie back in the bottle because they let all their frustration out in one moment. So now they're trying to pretend like it didn't happen. Okay, I get that. I'm sure they want to continue supporting OP, yeah, but OP needs to get their shit together and understand the stressors they are putting on their husband. Edit. Oh, there's a screenshot too. Girl, all right, this is the only story we're doing today. What? Come on, load. Come on, Bessie. Imager. I don't want this damn app. All right, y'all. We're going to see it later. It's giving the divorce came out of nowhere vibes. Yeah. This is very interesting. Okay, and the comments are... Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay. I just went through a couple extra comments to see, but it seems pretty much like most of them are just commenting that like it seems like OP is lacking self-awareness and empathy and might be like just really overbearing in the relationship. Yeah, the way the comment came out, getting the backstory, and even the backstory itself is a little bit like, not a little bit, it's like very much woe is me, and rightfully so, right? Lose your job, get another job, it's a bad job, and you get laid off again, right? Like that's a lot to go through. He doesn't mention how he interacted with his partner, how that's affected their relationship, things that he's noticed since, or even saying like, I thought things were fine. These are all left out, and I think it is deliberate. I really get the vibe that his part, especially the partner wanting to ignore and pretend like it didn't happen. We don't know all the details, but it really is giving, and maybe the comment that the person got to see the text, it's really giving, this is my world and I'm affected and this is hard on me. And I think his partner is trying to pretend like it didn't happen because maybe that's always kind of maybe been a dynamic. Probably also embarrassed about it. Scared of what it means. But it really feels like OP's avoiding a lot of things that would give more clarity. And that's where I'm giving like bombastic side eye, you know? I hope for the best. I hate to see a couple break apart, but I don't know. I can't shake it. And like Reddit can be the place where like one person has an idea and everyone just piles into it. I definitely think it takes two to tango. The fact that he had that big outburst and has not allegedly come to you to talk about it yet. I think I'm like, come on, homie, you can't do that to yourself. And if you're really that unhappy, just leave. A divorce is always an option, friends, believe it or not. And definitely this guy, he needs to have more self-control, less projection, less control. Like there's a lot of things that I think he needs to work through. And I'm perfect, so no. Oh no, but friends, with that, thank you so much. Comment below. Who do you think is the worst one? Husband or husband? I think it's husband. I'll see y'all later. Bye.